Would you rather have a natural disaster happen to you on a tiny island or have a murderer on the loose near you? Me personally, I would choose neither, but we can experience these through Roblox. And if you couldn't connect the dots, I'm of course talking about natural disaster survival and murder mystery 2. Two of Roblox's most iconic games that aren't cheap cash grabs with no effort. They have been around for a long time, I mean almost 20 years at this point. So today, I'm going to see which one is better between the two. Just a disclaimer, we might not share the same opinion, so that's okay, like whatever you want to like. Also, I think both games are great. Just today, I'm going to try something different and see which I like more personally. With that out of the way, let's discuss how we are going to be ranking them. We have three categories: how the game works, fanbase, and how fun it is. We will rank each category on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best and 1 being the worst. And then finally tally the scores up, and whoever has the most points wins. First thing first, let's start with. In MM2, there are 3 roles you can get: murderer, sheriff, and innocent. The murderer's job is to kill everyone before the 2 minutes is up, but also trying to avoid getting shot by the sheriff. If the sheriff shoots them, the round ends, and the sheriff wins. To win as innocent, you kind of just don't get killed and survive the full 2 minutes by hiding or running. If the sheriff gets killed by the murderer, innocents can pick the sheriff's gun up and shoot the murderer. To win as sheriff, you just shoot the murderer, as simple as that. Just make sure to not shoot innocents, because if you do, you and the innocent will both die. I rate the rules of MM2 a 6. It's losing points because it's so easy to camp, team, wall camp, and much more. But it's still a solid and fun game to play when bored. Now let's move on to natural disaster survival. Natural disaster survival is simple. All you do is survive the natural disaster. But sometimes the disaster can be a little unnatural, like a virus. Or it can be something that's not even a disaster at all. But something that this game has is that there is so many maps and so many disasters that you can replay it over and over and not be bored. Now there are some downsides. For example, natural disaster survival is laggier than MM2, coming from a laggy person. But also there is a weather power machine where if you pay a little Robux, you can have multiple disasters happening at once. There is also items you can buy, such as a balloon that makes you jump higher. And that's all the rules for natural disaster survival. Pretty good game if you want to relax. And that's why it gets an 8 out of 10. Now let's move on to
He a fan, 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 he a...
Saying that MM2 has a massive fan base is an understatement. There is so much YouTubers and edits of MM2, it's an easy 9 out of 10. It loses a point for some of the community being bad and exploitive, which I might make a video about. So let's move on to natural disasters fan base. When it comes to natural disasters fan base, it's pretty small. It's mostly just funny moments, Easter eggs, and the game modded. But there isn't many toxic people or creators. Overall, 6 out of 10. Now let's move on to MM2 is fun depending on the server. There could be campers and tryhards in one server and trolls in another. But I feel the thing with MM2 is that there is going to be at least one camper or one hacker in every server. But MM2 is really replayable. There is 36 possible outcomes for every MM2 match from the 12 maps and 3 roles. For me, it's a 7 out of 10 on the fun scale. Now on to natural disaster survival. Natural disaster has replayability to the max. There are 264 possible outcomes for natural disaster survival, which is a lot. Now, some disasters are not the best. For example, the virus disaster, I think, was in bad taste because it was released in 2021 when COVID was going on. So it gets a solid 9 out of 10 on the fun meter. So the scores are about to be tallied up. The score for MM2 is 22, and for natural disaster survival is which means natural disaster won by a single point. Comment below if I should do more videos like this, and if so, which games should I compare? Anyways, goodbye my unnamed fanbase and have a wonderful week.